we received these two matching adoring angels, we were quite excited, in part because of their age, and secondly because on the back of the statue it's engraved T. Carli. Tommaso Carli was an Italian immigrant who brought his statuary business and established it in Montreal back in 1867, the same year that our country was founded. He kept that company name until 1928 when he amalgamated with another company, which means this statue is at the very least 90 years old, but much more than likely it's well over 100 years old. In those days, the statues were made with a heavy, serious plaster. It's quite heavy for its size. They also paid a lot of attention to fine detail. Things like the eyes, sculpting of the nose and lips, the fingers, the drapery is quite beautifully detailed, something that nowadays is much more difficult to find. So when we began our approach, we saw that the nose had been broken off, 2 of the fingers were missing, 3 of the fingers in fact, and there were some various chips and breaks along it. On the bottom corner, the corners simply through many years of being handled, the corners had broken off, so we rebuilt some of those. We also created a simple mold, poured into it a hydrocal, very hard form of plaster, so that when we removed the mold, we had a rough draft of a new corner, which then we were prepared to sand by hand and then in part by machinery to try to get those corners and edges back as close as we could to the original. The next stage for us then was to sand all of the plaster down, remove the paint chips and bubbles, restoring the nose and hands and so forth. We reinforced the content of the wings to make sure that they are firm and strong enough to last many more decades. And then we're preparing the surface for the artist to take over and try to bring it back to as close as possible to the artist's original vision from about a century ago.
The starting point was repair of the broken plaster, then mechanical and extensive hand sanding and painting the base coats, and then the move into daylight, where Pauline would transform a slab of plaster eventually into a block of marble in a creative and multi-layered technique known as faux finishing. To do this, she will use brushes of various sizes, sponge, dry brushes, occasionally even large feathers to create patterns just the way she wants them. With the base now marbleized to match the church architecture, the artist paints the angels' faces, transforming the former pink into more natural living colors. The broken wings, now fully repaired, have been painted, then adorned with gold overlay. Shown here too is the completed marble along the base of the statue. Next, to hair color and the gold band around the angel's head, with numerous shades of color which the sunlight will catch. The first of the 2 famed adoring angels is nearing completion. There are final finishing touches such as eye color, eyebrows, and a final inspection to transform these 100-year-old treasures, beautiful though they once were, back into angels that we think even Tommaso Carli would be pleased to see back in the sanctuary.